supposed to have that anyway.
Well, that's a heck of a way to start a video.
Yeah, I know.
Hi everyone, Jared here with Wanted the Nation's Rage, and Matt.
What's up?
Today we're going to bring you a very special video of a very unique and odd, some might consider demented, some might consider dark. There's two main opinions about this place, and it's very controversial. And I will get back with you when we're closer to it and give you some facts about the place.
There's a Mustang Sally slowing down up here.
It's because we're getting into Elberton.
Yeah.
Reduced speed ahead.
Yeah. I figured it'd be a good idea.
35.
This person knows this area, so it's good.
35 miles per hour. Elberton City
Is on
limit.
left?
1 mile.
1 more mile, okay. Like, man. Is this it?
No. It's going to be a main
We'd have still gone through with it.
thoroughfare.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Georgia
I didn't know my phone talked.
Tell them, Mandy.
That's the first time Mandy's ever spoke up on that phone. Never heard it. I didn't know it had that. That's cool. That's the first time we've had to turn since I turned that on. We were on a long straight path.
She sounds more chilled out than regular Mandy.
She sounded kind of sassy.
She's like,
hey, turn over there.
Mandy on a sedative. This is your turn right here. Get in the left lane.
Yeah, she was like,
Turn left onto Georgia 77 North Oliver Street.
Mandy on a sedative.
She sounds like somebody on a dubstep beat or something. Like it. She makes it sound awesome.
Downtown.
Turn left on the next street.
Downtown Elberton.
Turn left.
These
now.
monuments made in Elberton. Granite capital of the world. I thought I said granny capital of the world.
We're going to see. So have you even told them what we're going to see?
Not yet.
You didn't
But
even tell
obviously they know if they read the title of the
them. Oh, you're gonna,
video.
oh, okay. We're not going to tell you. We're going to make you read the title.
One of the only monoliths
I thought you weren't putting the titles of the places in your video.
constructed. Burnt down house. Sorry. One of the only monoliths constructed in the state of Georgia. Erected in 1980 by I think it's A.W. Christian. You know what? I thought about something kind of funny about this. I mean, it's not funny, but it kind of is about this place that we're going to. The Georgia Guidestones, constructed by A.W. Christian, okay? And those of you that know the context of the Guidestones, anybody ever wonder if maybe this guy is just mad because his last name is Christian?
His AW stands for a weirdo Christian.
But he's not a Christian, that's the thing. He's completely anti-Christ.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this place before or heard of it, just wait till we get there and wait till you read these.
Look at him go.
Wait until you read the inscription on this monolith. As I said before, there are two different mainstream opinions about this thing.
That's why we're going here. Because it's awesome.
And we'll discuss them.
I like controversial stuff. So I'm really hyped about it. I'm digging this. And it's like really weird and mysterious out in the middle of nowhere, like a little Stonehenge or something, like a Rosetta Stone, and like it's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's some kind of landmark type thing where they, I guess if like we ever got wiped out or something, it'd still be there. I don't know.
So I guess you could either be one of two people, maybe one of three people. Either you're extremely to the left, or you're extremely to the right, or maybe you just don't care and you're more neutral. But there are people that are extremely to the left of this, and they're willing to die for what they believe. And there are people extremely to the right of this who are willing to die for what they believe. And it's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
I'm sort of in the middle about it, to where I just find it to be really interesting. It's interesting what people will do, or what people think they have to do sometimes to like protect whatever it is that they think is important that we need to remember or whatever. It's interesting. It's like, I don't know. It's like a future thing. It's like a modern day thing that's like some kind of time capsule or something.
Some people consider it like you said, a monument.
Yeah, like a monument
to mankind.
Yeah.
Some people consider it a threat.
It's actually, they call it a monument. That's what when you search it on Google, it's called a monument. They said it. That's the first thing they came up with. So when you read about it, it was suggested that it was a monument. So, I mean, what else could it be? I mean, it's like it's just a rock, with a bunch of writings on it. Kind of like Rosetta Stone. And it does have it says that whatever I was reading about, it said at the top of it had like Egyptian and Aramaic and some other stuff too. Like
we'll see. We'll see when we get there though. We're almost there. Slow down, it's right there.
Turn right onto Guidestone Road Northwest.
This is interesting.
Your destination is on the right.
Well, at least they're not the only ones that have cameras. If they can record us, we can record them.
These were installed in 2011, I believe, after the site was vandalized several times with graffiti. People actually breaking the stones themselves.
I thought you were. Well, see, you told me about it like a couple years ago when you came.
Yeah, I came out. This is my second time out here. I came in 2012 on Halloween.
Ever since you told me about it, I wanted to see it. To me, it's interesting.
RC Christian. I was wrong.
I was gonna get a picture of every one of them. There's the hieroglyphs up there. There's probably a load of garbage.
This is Matt's first time ever reading this thing, and he's actually here.
It won't surprise me if it's like some stupid evolutionist bullcrap. So like, what is that? What language is that?
Look it up. Go to Wiki. It says what all the languages are on there. Astronomically aligned. Are you gonna read this thing or not? So I got a question. Who came up with that? Who came up with that number? Who said that 500 million is considered perpetual balance with nature? Who came up with that number? Who made that decision? What was their formula for coming up with that number? So that would be the one world court. That would be prophecy.
That's interesting. One little cortico, yeah. So did somebody just crap out that number, yeah? It just looks good, right? It's just a pretty number.
Well, see, the interesting thing is last night we were watching, I forget the guy's name, basically 6 billion people on Earth, and he said that if you measure the average person and you line them up back to stomach, arm to arm, you could fit 6 billion people in the county of Jacksonville in Florida. And yet they say that we're overpopulated on this earth. I guess it depends on how much stuff you want.
Yeah, move out of the city if you don't like it. So But yeah, no, I thought it was funny when he said that like all those people that preach about like we need to get rid of people because there's too many people. But like of course like yeah, we need to get rid of like all these people that but don't get rid of yourself, of course. And no, that we don't need to get rid of that guy that said that though, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, but he's special.
Ted Turner said that.
Yeah, he's real special.
And I don't understand the Hebrew.
Because he's got money, it makes him more important. Or how did he get so rich? Like all the little people he wants to get rid of are the ones that made him rich.
Why Hebrew, man?
Because it looks pretty.
Everything that says is anti-Semitic. So why put it in Hebrew? Why not put it in like Russian or something like that?
I think one of them is Russian.
One of these up here on the top, those are the most ancient texts. And one of them's Babylonian.
There's Babylonian, Aramaic, Egyptian hieroglyph, and something else.
And that's the hieroglyphic side.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing is, it's astronomically aligned in the center. I guess to tell the season. Yeah, okay. Yeah, one side is Russian.
Oh, Greek. Yeah. Greek, Sanskrit, Babylonian, and Egyptian hieroglyph. I don't know where the Aramaic is. I think that I'm getting it mixed up with Rosetta Stone. It's not Aramaic.
This is really hard to see right here.
Oh, that's what it tells you. Swahili.
Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, Russian, English, Spanish.
Swahili. Yeah, that's what blues parents speak. They know Swahili.
Maybe if I put my shadow over this. Astronomic features that channels through stone indicates celestial pole. Horizontal slot indicates annual travel of sun. Sunbeam through capstone marks noontime throughout the year.
I wonder why not French. I guess if you know Spanish and Swahili, you can figure out French.
Well, they say that French is dying out.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people that speak French. Yeah. They speak French in Africa. They speak Swahili in Africa too. They speak Arabic in Africa.
Overall height 19
They
feet
speak
3
English in
inches.
Africa too.
Total weight 237,746 pounds. The 4 base stones are 16 feet. Each pillar weighs an average of 42,437 pounds.
Why Babylonian? Does anyone speak Babylonian?
It's just one of the most ancient
Isn't it the most ancient?
scripts ever found.
Isn't it like the most ancient?
I think so.
Like Sumerian?
It dates back 6,000 years. According to the Bible, it dates back 6,000 years.
That's what became Sumerian. It became Mesopotamian.
Highest point in Elbert County. It says they chose Georgia because of its exceptional granite resources, and it's a mild climate state which would preserve the rock. And they wanted to choose a remote place to put it. This is cool. It was vandalized a few times in the past 10 years. And I was reading about, you see that corner up there? See that corner up there that's a chunk missing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody took that. And they replaced it and somebody took it again, so they just left it out. I wonder why it doesn't tell us what that says up there. I mean, it's not hard to... I wonder if each side says the same thing, or if it says something different on each side. It didn't even say on Wikipedia what it says on the top of it.
I bet you can find out without Wikipedia. Okay, look. Let these be guidelines to an age of reason. That's probably what it says, dude. I think
Yeah, I guess that is what it says. So the ancient text
I'm only assuming that that's what this says.
basically translate to this.
Yeah, let these be guidelines to an age of reason. I'm guessing that's what it says.
So my biggest question is, and I'm going to give you my opinion about this now that we're the only ones here.
I want to know your opinion.
You know, it's always been man's goal to want to better the world and better the earth. And there's a reason why that is. There's something off about life. And it's always been that way. Something's just not right. I mean, yeah, we have happiness in life, we have love in life, but we have sickness, we have death, we have pain, we have fear, we have hatred and war, bloodshed, and we have bad memories of all that. So, it's always been a goal for mankind to better the world. It's always been a drive. And that's a natural thing. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think there's a reason why things have always been like that, because I believe in the Bible, and I believe that things have been out of whack and off balance from the beginning, since the first sin, when the curse was put on the earth and put on man. And this is basically humanity's equivalent to a perfect world. So if you took God completely out of the equation, these are guidelines. These are basically the 10 commandments for a perfect humanity, or what they like to fantasize as a perfect humanity.
I want to look deeper into where they come up with that number too.
Yeah, and my main question is, out of all this, who came up with that number right there?
Is that...
Who says that 500 million is a perpetual balance with nature? Who says that? You know, who came up with that equation? Who did that math and decided that that's the perfect number? Who did that? How did they do that? What was their method? What was their formula in doing that and coming up with that?
And is that number perfect for everybody? Or just, you know...
And see, the two opinions that I'm telling you about,
Sometimes things just look good on paper.
the two opinions that I'm telling you about fall down to two categories, and they're both religious categories. One is Christianity. The other one is evolution. And evolution has never been scientifically proven. And until it is, I don't think it ever will be, but until it is, it remains a religion. It does not fall into the method of science. It contradicts science. Read between the lines,
Evolution does contradict
and you'll see what I'm talking about.
with evolution.
And the main thing that this number right here comes down to is if you believe in evolution, that means life isn't that important to you. Life is a natural thing made by natural selection. The strongest survive. That's what the evolutionists believe. So in that case, bringing the Earth's population down to that number, which, you know, the more I think about it, the more it would make sense that maybe they came up with that number and based it on finance, money. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe they did the math and they figured out how much it would cost to feed and maintain a population of 500 million and the resources that it would take to clothe and house and, you know, just have 500 million people survive. And maybe that's how they came up with that. And they thought that the methods that we have today to survive is only enough to sustain 500 million people and still keep the earth in its pristine state as far as resources. Maybe that's how they came up with the number.
This.
It's astronomically aligned. I read it over there.
Oh, okay. You talk about that.
It
right?
basically, yeah, it tells you.
Because I think that's interesting. I don't know a lot about it. I wanted to see what you were going to say.
It tells you
That's cool.
what time noon is. You look through this when it's noon, and you'll look up on this side of it right here, and it'll tell you noon at any given time of the year. This one right here in the middle, let's look at it so I can remember, and I'm giving a fact. That's a horizontal slot that indicates the annual travel of the sun. Alright, and then the channel through the stone, which would be up there. See that one up there? There's 3 of them. See the one at the very top? Mm-hmm. That right there is what lines the celestial, or indicates the celestial poles. So that's what those do.
So do you know how to read them?
Well, for one it has to be noon, for the other one it has to be sunset. And the celestial poles, I wouldn't know how to do that.
Without a ladder?
Yeah.
I have to climb up there. That's interesting though, right? So whether or not you agree with anything that they say on these, that you can actually use.
That in itself, that's science, okay?
Yeah, this is actual
That's
science.
astronomy.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's like that guy said last night.
Yeah.
You mix poison in with truth.
Yeah. I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying that. Yeah. Just pointing that out. It's interesting.
But I don't know how much I can't.
Tool.
I can't overstress this number right here.
It's a tool. Yeah, that's what bothers me too.
That's the biggest thing that bothers everybody is that number right there.
Yeah, what's up with that? And it's like the first thing they say. It's the first thing is this. So this number.
Look, either you value life and you respect life because you realize there's more to life than what we experience and there is something after death, or you don't. You just believe that you came from an amoeba, you developed, you were automatically and naturally made through the process of evolution, and therefore after death you're going to become a plant or something. So therefore, why value life? And I think that that's what that's all about. Because if that were true, then why does it matter how many people are on the earth. You know, that means that our lives have no purpose.
Well, if you can really fit the entire 6 billion people population of the planet into one little small town in Florida, then that suggests a whole lot. That's saying a lot.
It says a lot. It says a lot about our resources.
Yeah.
It says a lot about where we are in terms of global warming and everything else.
Yeah. It's, well, you know, there's a whole lot more. It would take a whole lot more to destroy. It's really, you know.
And see, the thing is,
even though we are destructive as a race, like, it would still take. We'd have to like be trying really hard to destroy the earth. I don't even know that we're actually.
the thing is, evolutionists
Unless we use atom bombs.
look at Bible believers like they're ignorant and they're religious, and it all comes down to faith, and that therefore they're ignorant. Let me tell you something. You have to have more faith to believe in evolution with the lack of evidence there is out there than to have enough faith to be a Christian.
It's like that guy said that we were watching. Evolution's a religion too.
It is a religion.
Because it's if you
anything that can't be proven is a belief. You have to believe in it.
They claim to be based on all scientific facts, but everything that they preach and everything they teach, everything that they stand for, it goes against the scientific, you know, laws and you know, the ways that you determine things with the hypothesis and the theory, and it's all out the window. It's like, well, we'll just keep testing it again and again, even though it's wrong. And
not only
keep
that,
pushing it, even though it's, you know, and that goes against the whole idea of like science being a fact and a law of nature.
not only that, but what evidence they claim that they have,
Yeah.
and the fancy scientific magazines that they publish with the pictures of the monkeys and everything. If you do your history and you look up how all that was put together, it's skewed in every fashion. Every time you see something like that, if you do the history on it, it has been skewed. It has been stretched. It has been over-exaggerated in every fashion, in every way.
They keep changing
They
stuff,
can't
too.
prove it, therefore they have to
Every time they get called
deceive.
out, every time they get called out by like a big group in front of, you know, the public and it's exposed, they change something. Every time somebody complains about something or calls them out or wins a debate, they go and they change it and they try to cover up where they were stupid and then fix it with something else and be like, okay, well, that's out the window and we're going to say this now. And believe whatever you want to believe, and that's
Right.
all fine and good, but
Right.
it's not science. You know what I mean?
And exactly what they
suggest that Christianity goes against science, but really it doesn't. I disagree with that.
and what they mock the Christians for doing, they're doing to the extreme.
Really?
That's
I
why,
think a lot of Christians
in closing, I'll say this.
are scientific-y people.
I'll say this in closing.
There's a lot of science in
Christianity is a religion.
Yeah.
Evolution is a religion. The difference between the two is one is taxable. Say that again.
Oh, a bunch of people kept saying it's beautiful, and like, oh, it's so beautiful, but I don't think it's beautiful. I don't know. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, but I mean, really, I don't think it's beautiful. It's just a rock with stuff scratched on it that people scratch in their different languages. I don't know. It's just a rock. I mean, how is it beautiful? It's interesting. It's a landmark. And I guess it's an astrological tool that you can use, but I don't see anything really extravagant about it. Or, you know, it doesn't look like, it's not like a sunset or anything. It's just a rock. But it's an interesting rock that people have made a big deal out of. But it's a man-made rock, so.
You see, the thing about stuff like that is that's not new. That's been around for, 35 years.
Yeah, about.
No, it celebrated its 35th anniversary on March 22nd this year.
Okay, cool.
It's been around for 35 years.
So it's a baby.
And the thing about this is,
It's not Stonehenge.
people planted seeds like that, and now the seeds have taken root and they're growing. They put evolution in the science books in 1959. I think it was.
Like that. It was in the 50s.
And then they took prayer out of schools in 1963, and it made a huge difference. If you look at the statistics in those decades up to now, you'll see the amount of crime has increased, the amount of abortion has increased. I mean, it's all kinds of things that are negative have increased ever since they took prayer out of schools and they started pushing evolution. And the whole reason why they started that is actually, it's not even a practical reason. I mean, it's actually one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Maybe it was just an excuse so that they could do it and people would approve it. But basically, during the space race with Russia, the Russians made it into space before we did, and they launched their first satellite before we did. And it kind of made us walk with our tail between our legs and ashamed us of ourselves, or the people that think that America is the greatest country on earth. And because of that, who was it, Eisenhower? He spent so many millions of dollars, and he took your money and used it to put evolution in the science books. And the reason why they did that is they said, well, Russia teaches evolution in their schools, so maybe we need to teach evolution in our schools. And you know what? Ever since then, the SATs, the scores on the SATs went down so low that they had to dumb the test down 2 times since then to make us look smarter than we actually are. So you tell me, was it a positive thing they did that?
It's like idiocracy.
It's actually de-evolution. Now, if somebody asked me if I believed in evolution, I would say de-evolution.
Have you ever saw Idiocracy?
Oh, I've seen Idiocracy.
It's totally like that.
That's
sad. That's really sad right there. Man, that's pretty pathetic, really. Evolution, teaching evolution to our kids made them dumber. and also, like the way their attitudes have changed too. Like the way I was brought up too, and like we were all really bad kids compared to the way they used to be. People used to have so much respect. Even just not even long ago, like when my dad was growing up, like he always talked about how like you wouldn't dare like not say hello to somebody if you walk by them at the grocery store in public or something. You would always be polite and say hello and speak to someone. You'd never walk by somebody and not speak to them unless you were really, really rude. And nowadays, somebody says hello to you and it's like they might pull a gun out. Like, what are you talking to me for? What'd you say? It's nothing like that now. And kids, are into all kinds of bad stuff. And there's like no morals anymore, and they're taking everything. It's nothing like it used to be. That could have something to do with it because they have no like moral standards anymore, or foundation for like a basic way of the way that you're supposed to carry yourself and through life, and be. There's no, all that's out the window, like all that respect and all that dressing nice and
there's
and
a
being
deeper
polite and not and disrespecting people.
See, what you're talking about is a consequence of a bigger action.
Yeah.
That's out the window, but you know what else is out the window? Here's the thing, the unbelievers, the atheists, the evolutionists, they believe that if they can eradicate every last person on this earth that believes in God, God will go away. And that's where they're wrong, because God is uncreated. God doesn't need a single human being to exist. He's not thriving off of our belief in Him. We are thriving off of our belief in Him, not the other way around. So even if you did get rid of the last believer on this earth, which one day it will happen, it's called the rapture. Even if you did get rid of the last believer on this earth, you still have a problem. What's your problem? God. God's not going to go anywhere. And that's the problem. See, they think that by conditioning society in so many different ways and getting more and more extreme about it, and I'm not going to say it's the government, it's the richest people on earth. It's beyond the government. I think that what they ultimately want to do is they want to gain enough power.
It's the congregation of people that put together books and ideas and theories and thoughts and stuff that are accepted in the mainstream.
Well, there are things that they want to do that they can't get away with because people have morals.
But there's, you can't just punch that in one category. But I get what you're saying though. There's certain groups that are, here and there that want to do whatever it is they want to do.
I think ultimately what they want to do is they actually want to discover a way to become immortal. Call me crazy, call me a whack job, but it's not that far-fetched.
You mean like that movie that we watched? Well, there's a lot of movies like that. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, where they think they have to have immortality.
See, if there's a way that you can... You are speeding, my friend.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which way we need to go.
You're going the right way.
Okay.
See, if they can figure out the way to put a soul into an artificial body, then in a way, they could figure out how to become immortal.
Yeah, but what's the point of an artificial body?
It doesn't die. It doesn't age.
Yeah.
And if it does, it can be replaced.
But everything on this earth is organic. I mean, we're already technically sort of artificial in a way.
Well, put it this way, it's easily expendable. But we could go on and on and on about this for hours. And this could just be another conspiracy video on YouTube. I don't want it to be that. But I'm just giving you my opinion on it. I'm not saying that I'm a wacko. I'm not saying that I'm a wacko, that I'm a conspiracy nut. I actually don't even worry about stuff like this because it's already prophesied. It's in the Bible. It's coming to pass. It's not a surprise.
Alaska's not the last frontier. Either. There's plenty to go around.
Well, that was a left fielder, but yeah. That's true.
It's not. There's so much to explore. There's this, all these big cities and all this, all these government systems and all the systems of control and, order and politics and it's all, you can get out of it. You don't have to be, stuck. You don't want to be. It's like we're built to live in some of the worst conditions. We're designed to. So you don't have to put up with this, or I don't know. There's so many other options that people just choose not to see, or are afraid to see, or don't want to see, or people are content. It's one or the other. I'm personally not content, so I think outside the box. I don't like the way things are, and I just personally, I'm not a big fan of the system that we have here in the United States. I see where it can be, where people, I see why people run away from other countries to come here and make money and make a living, but it's just not my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been here since I was born here. Maybe I am a spoiled brat, but I could see myself living, you know, in a really rough situation and be fine with it, you know, and live off the land. I don't need all this stuff. I don't have to have this truck. I don't have to have a job. But right now, I just choose to. They want to control everything about you. I just don't like having a number and being constantly watched all the time, and you know, that like I'm under surveillance all the time. It's like I'm not in control of my own destiny. You know, I can't even be free. You know, it's you know, I just don't like it. But it is what it is. I accept it, but I don't have to like it. I can accept it. I can deal with it. You know, but it's not. I still personally don't agree with it. It isn't. I don't feel like I was born to, you know, settle for this. You know, I think there's so much more out there, and one of these days I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna go places. I can't stay here for the rest of my life.
Well, another thing that I wanted to bring up, I already said this once, but we were watching this guy last night on a video, and he actually made the comment that if you took 6 billion people and put them side by side, front to back, arm to arm, you could fit 6 billion people in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, that's what
So that just gives you some perspective. If that's actually a true statement, that gives you some perspective on how deceived we are.
Yeah, how big.
As far as the resources go.
Yeah. It changes everything, yeah. If that's true, then it would take, you'd have to really try really hard to go out of your way to try to destroy the planet, you know, and kill off everything. Like, I don't know, it's just it's a ridiculous idea to think that, you know, that we would accidentally destroy the planet, as small and tiny and insignificant as we are. Like, yeah, we're spread out all around, but really, I don't know. I don't believe all that. Yeah, maybe if we had a nuclear war, that'd be bad. It might destroy a lot of stuff. It might kill off most of the human race, but it still probably wouldn't destroy the planet. The planet will fix itself.
But what you said earlier, what you just said a while ago, it goes back to what I was saying. Basically, you know, this government, this system, yeah, it's screwed up, but it's meant to be screwed up. It's never going to be right. Like I said, everything is off balance. Everything's out of whack. Things are off that shouldn't be off. You know, and just I guess it's the second law of thermodynamics that says that order is meant to be shifted into chaos. It happens naturally. Things will fall apart. Things will come apart. The whole universe is doing this. And this is all in the Bible. And basically, since that curse was placed on us from the beginning, it changed everything in that we are mortal and we have a curse put on us of death and we are all going to die. But therefore, that goes forward to say that there is something after life. And that is what I feel we should concentrate on in this life the most, is the next life, especially if the next life is eternal and lasts forever. This life is finite, and you will grow old and you will die. So you really don't have time to be happy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with happiness and being happy and being content, but that's the thing. You have to find your balance and be content and focus on eternity, because that's what really matters. If this life was meant to matter that much, then it wouldn't be so finite.
We'd live a lot longer.
We'd live longer, it would have more meaning to it than what it is.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So the point is
only
not
thing
really.
We're certain is death and so
The point is.
you gotta think like, how do you want to live? That you get to live this once, and then if you believe in the afterlife, you know, where do you want to go from here? You know, because this isn't gonna last. If you have eternity looking, that you're, you know, if you have eternal life after death,
More race cars.
then you've got a whole lot more to look forward to than this little pathetic life. But
See, but that's the thing. You gotta watch out, because if you don't watch out, you're gonna end up just like them.
yeah,
And if that's all you're worried about is being happy right now,
exactly. And that's what I was getting at.
then you're gonna become empty and soulless. You know, the Bible basically
It's like,
says
do you
if you
wanna-
gain the world, you'll lose your soul.
It's like, do you want to suffer now for a short period of time, or do you want to suffer for an eternity?
Right. Do you want to build on eternity now with the time that you have and invest? Or do you want to waste it all away until you're out of time?
Grow.
That's the real question. But see, they can't look at it like that, because if they look at it like that, it begs the original question. What is God? Who is God? And they don't want to see God. They don't want any part of God. It's just like the Psalm chapter 2. This is basically what my name of my YouTube channel is all about. Why do the nations rage? They don't want any part of God. They want to be their own gods. And evolution says that's okay. That's possible. And that's the biggest problem with it all. No, I don't like somebody saying that I came from a monkey. I can live with that though. But the bigger problem is when man starts seeing himself as God, that's when he's going to start to run into problems. That's just the way it is. Anything else you want to say?
Pretty much said it.
Alright. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, maybe I made some people mad. And that's to be expected. You know, I don't expect any less than that. But if you want to see more videos, or if you want to subscribe to my channel, simply type into your web browser youtube.com/Why Do the Nations Rage, ? No spaces, and hit enter. It'll take you to my main page where you can see all my videos and subscribe, which is free. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and have a blessed day.
Genetically modified cereal, anyone?
Yeah, we're gonna get close to it. We're gonna get to see it up close.
How about some gluten-packed wheat bread? Pop-Tarts?
I like Pop-Tarts. They're really sweet though. Make it sick. Eat too many of them. Just out in the middle of nowhere, too. It's another Stonehenge. Yep.
Who knows what town we're in, but it's definitely incorporated.